Hi everyone, my name is Raylan Grogan, and I would just like to take this time to thank all of you for reviewing my speech. It really means a lot. Here we go. When I was asked to deliver a speech to all of you, I quickly remembered many speeches that have been given to me. I thought of a real stern talking to. That, of course, is not my purpose today. I've decided to share a story of mine, one that I hope no one forgets, because I recently realized how much this has had an impact on me in my life, and just how important this message is. I traveled to Cancun for vacation with my best friend a couple of months ago. We were flying out of Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, home of the Ravens, Super Bowl champions. Yeah. Anyways, my uncle lives 10 minutes away from the airport, so we decided to park our car there. He drops us off, picks us up, save the money when we can, you know. Mind you, this moment right now, this ceremony, since I received the letter asking me to do this in Chef Cameron's food and culture class, has been constantly in my head. As we were on our way to my uncle's, we were following a TomTom. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have had the pleasure of working with a TomTom, but it is not a pleasure. God forbid the accent is set on a British accent and you take that right turn too early, you'll have them screaming bugga, bugga, bugga at you. It's absolutely awful. So he redirects us to a totally nonsense route where he takes us up, around, back up to the place where we just were 20 minutes ago. We laugh, we scream, we're so agitated. But then we laugh again. And that was when I realized that it wasn't about the destination anymore. It's about the journey. From that moment, I was noticing things that I never really took the time to notice. For instance, we arrived at my uncle's, and we ate and we showered, and we were getting ready for bed because we had to be at the airport by 4 a.m. to make that 6 a.m. flight. And I stop. I just stop thinking, and I go downstairs, and I sit down with my uncle. And yes, he's family, but he didn't have to accommodate my best friend and me. He offered to take us to the airport at 4 in the morning. That certainly goes above the call of duty of family obligations. So I sit down and I talk to him. I ask him questions about his day, his week, this speech, and so on. He gives me great advice, of course. He even offers me a book to help me with this message. And that's when I realized not to rush the present, because we will never, ever be able to get an exact moment back. I realized to appreciate the little things, and most importantly, the everyday things. My best friend and I meet so many nice people along the way. We meet this one couple who is just so social, so open. I found that to be a huge breath of fresh air because that is so rare to find these days. That is when I realized to be the first person to say hello, say please, and always say thank you. I realized I will never know what someone has been through, whether in the past or at the present moment. I think we treat everyone the way we would like to be treated for granted. We forget that other people have problems too, some 10 times worse as ours, or even just the same. I would like to ask all of you to take a moment right now to reflect on who or what helped you get through all of your problems. I know it wasn't sulking by yourself, but rather you confided in someone. Well, what if that someone didn't have that someone? Or even worse, anyone. We are all here doing the exact same thing as everyone else. We are surviving. We get on our second connecting flight, and I swear I literally just took my eyes off the Florida coast, and the turbulence begins. We were shaking, sweating, laughing nervously, all while trying to finish our overpriced cocktail we purchased at 7 o'clock in the morning because, whoop whoop, we were going to Cancun, right? Well, the plane dropped. And at that very moment, just like when any turbulence hits on every plane ride, I automatically think of my parents. When was the last time I said thank you to them? Supporting me with school, jobs, and letting me go on this trip to Mexico with all the latest gossip on the news about safety and whatnot? Whether your parents, your grandparents, siblings, aunt, uncle, or friends, whoever has supported you to be in those seats right now, professors, even for you, in those prestigious seats you were sitting in, when was the last time you sat those people down, or that one person who never turned their back on you and just appreciated them and said thank you? Who knows? They may not even know what they have done until they see it in your eyes and hear it in your voice, the impact that they have had on someone's life, your life. And that's huge. So whether here or not, can we please give a round of applause for those people in our lives at this very moment? When we arrived in Mexico, it was bottle popping time. No, I'm just kidding. Really. No, I'm just kidding. Our resort was an hour and 45 minutes away from the airport. And on the cab ride to the resort, I thought of the driver, who so many of us think of as that person who is sober. Made me think of all the cab rides I have taken, whether it was in Dewey Beach, Orlando, Philly, or even Charlotte. Did I appreciate them from getting me from point A to point B and maybe a couple of point C's depending on the night? A-okay? and knock on wood they have. That being said, I probably have said some things that Alan from The Hangover would not have even said. Are you married? Is marriage hard? Where are you from? Oh my gosh, I so want to go there. Like, really? I not only noticed the driver in Mexico, but as well as the scenery during the drive, from how people were dressed to where they were living, how all of their laundry was hanging out on lines on rooftops, to their police officers with machine guns around their necks at the 3 checkpoints we had to stop at on the way to the resort. All of this just made me think of our country. Just like any other, has their ups and downs. But I believe, if we can just remember, no matter where we go, what we say, what we do, to just always leave everything a little bit better than the way we found it. I think that could be a huge start to a change for the better. When we finally arrived at the resort, it was vacation time, but I kept the thought of this being a journey in my head the entire time, and I had the most unbelievable vacation while meeting the most extraordinary people, making this the most memorable trip of all time. I would just like to emphasize that because we are graduating does not mean we stop being students. Life is a classroom. And an awesome professor here at Johnson & Wales University taught me an amazing life lesson without even knowing it. And that is to always be looking, listening, and learning to execute for everyday lifestyles. Thank you, Dr. Gamble. Have a professional life and a regular life. Love and be loved in return. Because whatever time that is not spent loving is wasted. Nobody ever said on their deathbed, I wish I spent more hours in the kitchen, office, or arena. Well, I guess that all depends on what's going on at the arena that night. But nonetheless, be who you are, the true you, because you're the only person who can make yourself happy. And whether you like it or not, you have to sleep with yourself at night. So if you drink, drink to make new memories, not to forget old ones, because the second you wake up, those problems will still be there, plus the ones you added on to the night before. So be young, always be young, but be smart. As my message comes to an end, I want you to look to the person in front of you, behind you, to your left, and to your right. Those people are in the exact same shoes as you are. Those people are your networks, your friends, your brothers and sisters. Embrace them. Do not neglect them, for you will always have someone to turn to. So please, will the class of 2013 stand up and please give yourselves a round of applause. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.